Welcome to Go Global World. And as usually, we discuss a lot of important things, helping entrepreneurs from around the world to build their companies, achieve tremendous success, and change our world for the better, and making it a better place. Well, today I would like to discuss a very important topic. As usually I say, always important topic, but this one is like really, really important because this is where you start your company, and you love your idea, and you really trying to do something with this idea, probably make a business out of it. But how do you ensure that this idea will work? For this reason, I would like to discuss today idea validation. How to validate your ideas so that that idea can take off, and you will build your company, you will be able to raise capital and be successful person that really created some new value in the world. And today, again, I'm inviting Georgi Koreli, a Stanford grad and alumni from Stanford Business School. He is also taking another degree at Stanford GSB, and I'm really excited to have him at our podcast today because he can share with you the latest knowledge of how to validate idea. But we are here not about to inspire you. You can watch a lot of other videos about inspiration. I want here everyone to learn how to apply this knowledge. So today we will giving you practical expertise, so you will be able to apply it right after the talk. All right, Georgi, great to have you today. Please tell a few words about yourself. We already discussed your background previous video. And before I let you speak, everyone, please press the like button. It's really important for us. Please subscribe to the channel and spread the word about this video. We are trying to help entrepreneurs. And this knowledge is not just for the sake of knowledge we are creating. We really want you to succeed and sharing the best what we know. So please help others as well. Welcome, Georgi, and the floor is yours.
Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it a lot. And idea validation, I would say, is one of the key things to success in entrepreneurial journey. And previous time we talked about ideation and how ideas came to our mind. But now we should discuss really important topic, and it is idea validation. You know, you have this idea, you think it's great, you're super excited to solve it. How you can make sure that this idea makes sense, right? And there are several techniques that I was learning during my journey at Stanford GSB, and I would recall you that I was taking most of entrepreneurial classes, and we were able to learn from the best minds in the world about idea validation, as well as classes slash accelerators such as Startup Garage, where the only thing that we are doing the whole quarter is validating the idea. And I would love to share the screen and talk about idea validation and different techniques. So, and then the key idea and the key takeaway is to be ready to ship the MVP as soon as possible to the niche audience that desperately needs key features of your product. And this is key to success. And it also resonates with the insights that you might have initially about the product. So you realize that there is a certain pain point and you have an idea what might be the solution for it. So then your goal becomes shipping this MVP as soon as possible, whether you do this with a one-pager concierge service, as a product on different service, or any other iteration or direction for the product that might show the value to the user that is the most desperate. And here I recently took this picture from Lenny Rachinsky, and he is one of the major product guys in Silicon Valley. And he shared several examples of how this unicorn, decacorn companies were able to find a niche market, and then they built the whole functionality on top of this niche market, because this niche market started expanding and they started expanding too. So we see Yelp with 25 to 35-year-old women in cities, Discord with gamers on PC playing Final Fantasy, Tinder attractive party-loving college students because they first ship the product, on the party, and then they were checking whether these people have Tinder um, prior to entrance. And then we have many more examples, right? For Instagram, it's designers interested in photography. So we see that these really huge products that everyone is using now were built for super niche market first, where these founders had insight. And after you have idea, what is key to further development of this idea, and whether you decide to jump full time, is pre-MVP validation. So you should validate the concept before implementation, and there are several techniques to make this happen. Please, Daniel, stop me whenever you have any questions or you want me to clarify anything.
Absolutely.
So how would you validate idea before you build MVP? First is based on the problems that you hear around. So your friends complain about different things. You have personal problem while you are working on certain in certain industry. Or recently, so it became now you have power of data, so you can see key requests in Google search. So you see what people are looking for. What is one-click checkout? And you see, okay, like one-click checkout might be the problem, right? And if you are in the relevant industry, then it brings some inside knowledge additional to this need, and you can say that now, okay, it's definitely worthwhile to research the market before deciding to pursue. Though this direction might be a bit problematic because if a lot of people are searching for solution, then it's a common sense so everyone experiences this problem. So why don't incumbents solve this problem? So it might be some problem, technological problem that hasn't been solved yet, and with like very low likelihood that you will be able to solve it without having super deep insight in the industry. Second, my favorite way to validate your idea is a smoke test. And smoke test is building just landing page or concierge service that barely works or just shows a value prop, and then targeting the niche audience that you believe experience this problem and is the most desperate for the solution. And then you can see the reaction and emotion underlying emotion after you ask several questions or you onboard them to the website that has based no functionality, but then you can call them and say, hey guys, what do you think? Like, why do you have this problem? What are the details? And then you can understand and you can start building your hypothesis around the problem. Here we see the way that Dropbox did this. So they just created a video and posted video in YouTube. And then they had a massive number of views after a couple of days. What validated their hypothesis that it's a burning idea. And then they have built this and became a unicorn company. So there are several ways, but the key here is you should choose a distribution channel. You should choose distribution channel based on your advantages and your unique value prop that you have. For example, if you're influencer on YouTube, right, and you have thousands of followers that you might think experience this problem. For you, it's a free distribution channel. So you can immediately test this by just sharing, hey guys, I have this idea and do you experience this problem? If yes, why? And please, can I call you to ask some details? For the way I am now validating ideas, it's usually Stanford GSB. So we have around 1,000 people in our distribution channel in email. And the way I validate, I say, hey guys, have you ever had this experience? And we have super smart people on distribution, and I usually receive at least 10 responses, and then I can quickly chat with them and ask how big is this problem and whether they're desperate for the solution. The last point here is Kickstarter or GoFundMe. So it's a great way to understand whether your potential audience is willing to pay for the solution. Because if they are desperate for the problem, right, and they will buy whatever you do on Kickstarter or GoFundMe, right? So if you propose great solution for something, they buy this upfront, no matter whether you will be able to deliver this. And this shows a desperation about the problem. Next is what happens after you validate the concept. So you have 20 people saying that this is a desperate problem, whether it's B2C or B2C solution. So what you should do is validate proposed implementation. So we call it how, right? You have who is a relevant audience, how is proposed implementation, and what is your insight and product. And the best way to do this that we learned in Stanford is design sprint. So it's a super easy way and super fast way to validate the solution, and it involves choosing a target audience and sketching solution for this audience, understanding what is the best solution among everything you've sketched, and then just shipping your prototype to them and showing, hey guys, can you please take a look at this file on Figma? And this is a solution. And then you should look at them and what are the emotions that they have. And the problem here is people tend to say yes many times because we are just we tend to be positive if we don't care, and if we do care, we still tend to be positive because we want to be nice. So you will receive a lot of false positives while you are asking about the problem, and then you can get excited and have a wrong signal. So the way to make it more clear and to eliminate this problem is to use 5 whys techniques. And these techniques allows you to learn how to adapt your hypothesis without wrong expectations. So basically, you ask person, hey, uh, do you have a problem with your underwear, for example? I have a solution that this is a sketch. This is like super soft underwear. Maybe you will be able to use it and to wear it because it's more comfortable. And then they can say, "Wow, this is amazing! Like I would love to have this underwear. And how much does it cost?" And then you can say, okay, but this reaction is definitely overly positive reaction because everyone has underwear, right? And how can anyone be super excited about like new underwear? But people tend to be overly positive, so you can receive such reaction. But then your goal is to start using this technique. So you should ask why. So why do you so why do you think that underwear is a problem? So then these people might get stuck, without like, and then they, oh, like maybe it's too expensive, or maybe it's not high quality or and soft. So and then you receive one more response, and people interviewee said it's not soft enough. So your next goal is to ask, okay, why do you think it's not soft enough? Like what's the problem? Is it does it make you uncomfortable, or what's your benchmark to this? And then while you are digging deeper and deeper into the problem, you can understand how much is desperation. So you can actually then decide what's the price point for this desperation, whether you can just have add $5 additional to the price, or you can actually make it cheaper because it's too pricey. This is super important to get you to the root cause of the problem. And then one of major suggestion for mostly for B2B solutions is to sell the product before you actually have it. So you can sketch the product, or you can just create a demo of this product once you validate your initial hypothesis and the idea. So you validate the sketch, right? Or for B2B, you didn't validate, you can create the demo. And you go to the companies and start selling. And then while you sell the product, why it is super good solution, because it allows you to learn more about the problem. So you go to the enterprise company and say, hey, this is what I am building, and based on your profile, I believe that this is a good solution for this. Can you please clarify what are your problems with, for example, your enterprise infrastructure, cloud infrastructure? And then you will start hearing a lot of things that you haven't heard before, and it allows you to adjust your hypothesis based on your new inputs. After you go to 20 enterprises with your product that doesn't exist yet, it just demo or Figma file, you will be able to get so much information that you can adjust this information based on the biggest pain point of your potential customer. And the major question to ask is your target audience desperate for your product? And we have this concept of vitamin versus painkiller. Though there are a lot of, not a lot, but a few companies such as Camel, right? You will never say that it's a painkiller, right? It's just entertainment. But there are some industries where you see a lot of exceptions, especially in industries such as entertainment, where people are ready to overpay for certain feelings and emotions, and there is obviously no desperation for this, right? So you can put this into bucket of vitamin, but they still succeed because they were able to create certain behavior. They were able, to sell in entertainment space where people, usually they work or money, but then they are willing to spend on entertainment. So it's obviously, just from the concept of, consumer behavior, it's overpaying for entertainment. It's pretty okay. But the core, based on your assumptions, and then the thesis that you can do many things wrong, and then one thing right, you would rather look for painkiller and about desperate problem for your product to solve. That's more or less everything. Daniel, I'm happy to answer questions you might have.
I love this concept about painkillers and vitamins. I've heard this quite a good amount of times, and I also promote this vision. But the way you put it is like really make it really powerful with this matrix two pills. Well, the question is, how do you really know that this is really like a desperate problem for your customers? um, uh, Maybe you might be hearing some excitement, but at the same time, it's not something they are desperate about. Where is this kind of balance of between vitamins and desperate problem?
So the balance comes from the willingness to pay. If your users are ready to pay before the product is there, then it becomes a painkiller, right? Because they actually put the money in. The same thing. So it was the great example is Slack, right? So they started selling. People just took the product out of their hands, in a desperate way before it was even ready. So they built on a one-to-one mode, and then they expanded to, 10 people in organization. They were still testing, but people were so desperate about such tool that they were, they had their sales for like beta version of the product skyrocketed before they actually launched the full product. And that's a good indication, right? So I would suggest to the founders to start selling the product before you actually have it, because then you will be able to understand whether there is a need or not, right? Because if enterprises don't pay, right, and say, hey, like let's sign LOI, and then you will have free product, like freemium version of your product, and then we adopt. This is a hard sell. This is a sell that now is happening in the Silicon Valley for sure. So a lot of companies are building basic MVPs. They're shipping to the initial customers, with basic functionality, using freemium, and then charging. Daniel, are you here? Yes, sorry, you're muted.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, continue.
Yes. So, and then charging. Now, but all startups are exceptions, right? You can do, I mean, if you're doing many things right, it's a high probability that you will ship the product for free, then you will start charging based on the usage, and then it will take off. But less than 2% of startups succeed. So you want to make sure your core hypothesis is right. So the best way is to sell immediately and then to build on top of this.
Well, you mentioned an important number. Less than 2% startups succeed. So it tells me that the idea I have might be good one, but it has a lot of obstacles on the way, and it depends on me, how it depends on the market, depends on many things. And before I really invest my time, efforts, and money into it, I better validate the idea. So validation is the process you just discussed. And the question here is comes like, do I come to my customers with just hypothesis in my head and talk? Do I bring some visuals, like you mentioned, Figma or something, or I build some certain prototype that has some probably screens that I can press and it a little bit works, but of course it's not a full product I'm going to ship. So where
Mhm.
is this balance, and what would you recommend?
So first of all, you should go with a low touch model. For sure, you shouldn't ship your prototype like without like unfunctional, dysfunctional prototype to your highest value customers, right? You should ship to customers that you care, but not much, right? So that's why Silicon Valley startups mostly ship to other startups. Um, and then this will give you understanding what is the core of the problem, how these companies experience this, and whether you have right understanding of what should be the product. So you might have a good insight of what is a problem, but then it can be the widget, it can be the website, right? Or it can be um, like additional service, right, for your enterprise. So it might have very like several iterations, but initially you shouldn't build the product. You should ship just a prototype in Figma or landing page if it is B2C product or even B2B. You know, but if there is a strong technical team and you are convinced that this is a problem, you can build quick MVP. And with a high, now we have super high bar for adoption of new products, right? Especially for consumer, because your attention is overwhelmed with different applications, right? So without, and what I see that many founders don't know where is this niche market, so they just spray and pray that someone will start using and it takes off, and they will see some usage without like clear super niche understanding. And for this type of use cases, you would rather have super basic version of product that you can just post on Product Hunt and say, hey guys, that's what we are building. Please like sign up if you're interested, right? So you should try to have this basic functionality that you think resonates with decent number of people, and then these huge distributions that exist on Product Hunt, Kickstarter, GoFundMe, will allow you to validate this hypothesis because among 10,000 people, there are 20 people that experience this problem, and they will collect it.
Perfect. Well, I think we've discussed a lot of things already, and let's keep it short. We have another topic to speak about. I would just add to what you mentioned. In my opinion, because there is high expectation of what you're going to show to your customers, they probably want to see a little bit of a product, and maybe some people may consider building a no-code solution, which is very simple in many cases. I'm not a developer. I built my app on no code within a day. having no code experience. I mean, no coding experience. But no code solution is the one that really can help building something that a little bit works and increases your chances to show how the product might work. Well, thank you, Georgi, a lot, so much for discussion on this idea validation. And I'll let you actually give some teaser about our upcoming topic. What would you talk in the next video? We are planning to do so.
Yeah, next video we'll talk about pivoting. So we will discuss why, like when should you pivot, and what are the signals that tell you that you shouldn't pursue this because you have wrong insight. And then you have these three dimensions. You have what, and what is your insight, right? It's like core hypothesis that you are building your product on top. You have who is your target audience, and you have how, right? It's the iteration. It's what the product. Um, and then while founders like can iterate on based on all three of this, right? It's audience, it's and it's a product, as well as what's core insight and core product. Like iterating on what rarely gives you new opportunities and traction. So we will talk about what is this what, right? And how to iterate on how, and how to iterate on your target audience.
Love it. Amazing. Because pivoting is actually, to me, is an opportunity, because you faced a wall, a problem. This is where you really become creative of solving the customer problem. Like the market told you there is something you're not understanding, you're not getting it. Like, now find your time and get it, like really understand it. And this technique is exactly what founders need to apply. Like, I'm looking forward to our talk, and everyone who watched us. So please subscribe to the channel, press the like button. I always remind you this, and I will never stop doing this, because it's so important for us that you do it. And if you have questions to Georgi, if you really need some help, you can leave your comments here below. We will try to answer all of them. We truly want to help. If anyone of you wants to connect with Georgi directly and potentially get him as an advisor, just reach out to info@goglobal.world, and we will connect you with Georgi, and he potentially might become your advisor. I think this is an excellent opportunity for some startups. Well, thank you so much. You have a great day, and look forward to our talk. And everyone who watched us, please come back to the next video. It's going to be published very soon. All right, take
Thank
care.
you,
Bye.
Daniel. It was a
Bye.
pleasure. Bye-bye.